Welcome in, welcome in, welcome to the Wild Boar Show. Welcome to the Wild Boar Show. I am Chris the Wild Boar. My guest today behind the mask, he's wearing that for extreme protection. You know, things could fly around here, is my good friend Damian Kondrotas. Welcome in, bud.
Thanks.
I'm glad you're here, man.
Good to be here.
Yeah. We're going to brag about you here for just a second. So you're a local guy, right? Born in Clearwater.
I am. Morton Plant Meats, downtown Clearwater.
How about that? The place has never been the same, I'm sure.
No, born there, almost died there. It's very convenient. Very
All at the same
circular.
time?
No, that was years later.
Okay.
Wanted to try it on for size.
I like that. You wear this pretty much every day, right? Like just to go through life with this.
Not literally, but I do wear the body armor because you never know what harpoons people are going to throw at you.
And I bet a lot of harpoons are tossed your way in your role as, ladies and gentlemen, the president of the Oldsmar Little League. Yes, sir, he is. And I'll let you talk about some more of the things that you did, but I can tell you this guys, just like everybody else, we're a community-centric program, folks, and this guy does a lot. I asked him, really what his role is, and he said that he's been called a professional volunteer because not only are you the president of Little League, but you're on some other boards and things like that. Talk about what you do there.
I am. It's one of those, you don't duck fast enough. You have to come in with the best of intentions, and next thing you know, I think I can do some good. Oh, I didn't mean I'd take over.
That's awesome.
President of my HOA, don't have any tech background, but somehow I've been on multiple technology committees. Yeah, on and on.
I love it. They just needed to warm the seat. Now, I appreciate the fact that he's wearing the mask, but I do have to ask you, how's the audio quality right now with him mumbling through that? Is it good? You can't really tell? It is what it is. All right. Why don't you cool yourself off? You might not be as attractive as some of the ladies that we've had on the Wild Boar Show, but you're all right. Yeah, they'll be all right looking at you. I'm so glad you're in here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are just coming off a season. Damian has been our head coach, and 11-5. Not a bad season, right?
No, very good. Lost a couple nail biters. Easily could have been 13-3.
Yep.
Yeah.
And tell me about your baseball background. So, because you grew up in the area, so I assume you played some high school ball.
I did. I came late to the game, for sure. I did not start playing organized baseball till 13. Which, if you're familiar with Little League at all, that means you're no longer playing on these little fields you see behind you.
Yep.
The first time I stepped on an organized baseball field, it was a full-size MLB field.
Okay.
And never looked back.
Were they looking at your birth certificate? Because you're a tall fellow. What are you, about 6.5 feet tall? What are you?
6'5".
6'5", yeah.
Yeah, no, I was a pretty big kid, but didn't know what I was doing. But they worked me over, and I wanted it and worked hard.
There you go. So you listened, you were coachable.
I was definitely coachable. Won out for my high school team, started getting honorable stuff for different county levels. Back then, they didn't have travel ball. The closest thing to it was a 16-year-old police athletic league team.
How about that? Okay.
Yeah, and the year I was eligible for that and tried out, there was roughly 360 players that tried out.
That'd be all of the Pinellas County eligibles because...
No, they were flying in. You didn't have to live in Pinellas County. They were coming from out of the area to try out for this team.
From the Dominican?
They flew some from up north. I don't think there was any from the Dominican.
Maybe the Bronx.
I think the Miami team flew in from Central America. Those were our in-state rivals, but yeah, it was quite a squad.
But you played well enough that you were able to keep it going into college, right?
I did. I played 2 years of junior college. Once I embraced athleticism, I'm ashamed to say I turned my back on the bookwork. I should have done bigger and better things than that, but...
But you never had an ankle bracelet. It wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't that bad. But, when you decide to go that route rather than somebody offers you a scholarship to a 4-year school at a $75,000 a year school and you turn it down, later in life you start questioning your sanity.
Yeah, that worked out for you. You're doing just fine. Now
I made my way.
Now you told me, was it Caminero? One of the Rays players played at one of the schools that you attended.
Oh, no, former Rays player now, Caballero. Jose Caballero went through Chipola Junior College.
Okay.
Now known simply as Chipola College.
Chipola.
And we traded him to the Yankees this season. He's a super utility guy. Joey Bats, Jose Bautista, also went through Chipola a couple years after I did.
There you go. So you got a whole bunch of underperformers in the classroom that just did it on the field. Is what you did. There you go.
We went there for a reason. They had a good program.
That's awesome, man. Clearly, right? Clearly, those are household names in the baseball world. Well, friends, I've known Damian now for about 2 years. I will never forget this, man. I got the call because, as you all know, or many of you know, I have a young son. It's God's sense of humor. I'm 57 years young, but I have a 9-year-old. It's a fun story. It'll break your heart, make you cry, and all that stuff. Grab tissues, but he loves baseball, man. I know he tried all the sports. Maybe he tried them all. We tried golf. Too young. I forced him on he wanted to go play in the sand traps. He was just too young. We played played basketball.
Yeah.
He was 2 for 77 from the field and realized it wasn't his game. Nice. Okay, that was good. He played soccer. And when he played soccer, he liked to stand in front of the goal and see if he could kick it all the way across the field and get it into the goal. That way he wouldn't have to run and have any contact.
Yeah, not wanting to run's a problem in that
Yeah.
sport.
And I know you know Brian Metzger,
Yes.
right? Brian, his lovely wife. And Brian runs a flag football league, and he's very involved in the East Lake corridor with the kids. So he had Christopher come out. This is great. He had Christopher come out and play flag football. And Christopher had like maybe 1 or 2 practices, and they finally did a scrimmage. Now, if I haven't shared this with you, you're going to laugh. So
I don't think you have.
okay, so at the end of the practice, at the end of the scrimmage, I said, Christopher, buddy, how'd you do? I said, did you have fun? He said, yeah, Dad. I only received 3 injuries.
You're waiting for. I only received 3 injuries.
So I realized at that point, okay, this guy's not going to appreciate contact sports. But of all things, he embraced baseball. And he got the Xbox, and he started playing MLB The Show.
That'll do it.
And he just fell in love with it. So, but he couldn't hit. He couldn't throw the baseball. And of all things, I mean, the best $50 that we ever spent, whatever. A well-spent $50, I'll just say that. Not the best that we ever spent. We bought him a bounce back. Right?
Sit there and throw and catch.
So,
Throw
yeah,
and catch.
Missy and I would sit there and melt ice poolside, and he would throw that baseball and throw that baseball and throw that baseball.
Well, back in the day, you would just pick a random neighbor's house you didn't like and use that for
Use the
target
wall.
practice.
Yeah, use the wall.
Yeah, now they have equipment to avoid that kind of thing.
I get it, man.
It's probably an aggrieved neighbor that invented the bounce back.
Well, and it worked. It was fantastic. So all of a sudden now he's got a glove, and so I bought him a tee. And now he starts hitting the baseball, and he's doing okay. And he goes for a tryout, friends, and this guy's there at the tryout. Now, Christopher at the time would have been league age 7 or 8. I don't know what it was, but I got a phone call from the coach that I thought was going to be Christopher's coach, and he said they want to move Christopher up based on his tryout today. So I had a conversation with you. Do you remember the conversation? Mm-hmm. And my nerves were thinking back to my own Little League efforts, and I didn't want him to sit on the bench, and I didn't want him to
you were a little worried if whether or not he was ready, and I believe I convinced you that we would not put him in situations he couldn't handle.
You were very, very persuasive, but you still, and to this day, you're such a great coach, and I mean that, man. It's not like I got a man crush on you, but you're a fantastic coach. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. If a kid asks you to play a position, you'll do everything you can to give that kid a chance to do it.
I have very limited rules around that. Occasionally somebody will say, I want to play shortstop, and I'll hand them a ball and go make the throw from shortstop to first. And when it comes up 10 feet short, I go, it's not happening.
Just not ready. So Christopher wanted to be a catcher.
Yeah.
So he adorned the mask like you have. That's probably an ump's mask, but he put on a catcher's mask. And it reminded me of the flag football, where somehow he claimed the guy hit him in the face with a bat.
It is a position that you have to be ready to take some licks.
Yeah, so 50-pound 8-year-olds, not so much. No.
Nope, but he has a good loose arm, and we found something better suited.
We did, and so now the kids started pitching. And then and I know you remember it because it was awesome. About a year ago, those of you that are watching now, it is November of 2025, but in 2024, we had a major storm at the end of September. And so our fields here, which are absolutely beautiful, we can brag about that in a minute, but here in the great city of Oldsmar, you turned us on to the Performance Courthouse there.
Yeah.
And we had all the kids come over.
Yeah, it's a great spot here locally owned company, and they have some travel ball affiliated teams that practice there, but it's also open for anybody that's not on those teams to come and utilize the space, rent it for indoor training, and it's not weather centric. So
we're gonna do a show.
Hey, you got to rain out. Let's go play inside.
We're homeless, living in an RV. I got no place for the kid to do anything. You turn us on to this place. Next thing you know, I have a membership. He's got a private coach. If you've never been there, we're gonna do a show from there. Our buddy Brady Rife runs the place, and it's absolutely fantastic. A bunch of major leaguers in there, player development guys that are in there, and so next thing you know, just to get away from the RV and all the things that were happening in our house, we're going there 3 days a week. And the kid starts hitting the baseball. Now, he can do it there. I don't know what happens out here, but he can do it there. He makes good contact, fell in love with the game. And this guy over here, you pitched in college, right?
I did.
Yeah, and clearly you did. And so to have you there to be able to work on his mechanics, we got him on the mound, and by golly, he excelled. So for that standpoint, I say thank you very much for believing in him and giving him the opportunity. He had a great year, and we had a great season. And we got one more game tomorrow, by the way, but by the time they watch this, they won't see that. But
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Now, your coaching skills, do you think that was inherent, or did you go to school? Like, how did you learn to be such a great yeah, you just laughed.
I
Videos?
laugh because I'm still figuring it out, which just means I fooled yet another person.
Oh, well, convincingly, too.
Fake it till you make it.
All right. So when you're not volunteering on the baseball fields, when you're not volunteering in your HOA, when you're not on tech classes and clubs, somehow you have to generate some sort of revenue. And I believe that you have something to do with real estate and that type of
I
thing.
do. These days, I do property management and real estate investment for various investors. So I'll help them acquire or dispose of real estate assets, manage them in between those two.
In between the volunteering.
In between the volunteering, in between the acquisition and disposal. Yeah, yeah.
So you have a lot of times where people have maybe met you at the ball field to sign a document, because we're old enough to remember when you had to do that, right?
Never. Yeah, nowadays, it's all about e-signing everything for
Sure.
sure. But there's been times I generally try not to let the two overlap.
All right.
I don't let the work people know that I'm out here and vice versa. I'm like, yeah, no. I just go dress like a bum and go visit properties, and then people realize, some of them discover later, and like, oh, he owns the company. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
he's just here to work on something.
Yeah, I love it. There's nothing wrong with that. No dress code here. Although you didn't get the memo, but I do appreciate the mask and the Bats hat. That's good. And you have two sons, a beautiful wife, and those kids play baseball. What, do they ever sleep? Because they're playing baseball every time I see them.
They're playing baseball during baseball season. I'm also a firm believer in taking a little bit of time away, which keeps them hungry at the younger ages so they don't burn out. So we're about to rotate out of baseball and into soccer flag football for a while. And then we will just do just enough baseball to keep their arms in shape and keep them in touch with the ball.
That's awesome. Sure.
But by the end of soccer season, they're dying to play baseball again, which is good.
They don't have to run as much.
No, they don't, but they got faster. Somehow by the time we come back in the spring, they'll both be faster, which is a nice benefit.
Yep, I can see that. The agility is better. Your footwork is better. All that good stuff. Now, you're also, if I don't know, it seems to me that somewhere along the line I saw that maybe you were in the AVP.
I did.
He laughs. If you don't know what that is, folks, he'll tell you.
Back in my history, it's the Association of Volleyball Professionals. So when I stopped playing my second year of college baseball, I didn't know what to do with myself. Like,
Okay.
I don't know what to do. Like, I already disclosed my academic side. I just completely balled up and threw away, much to everybody's dismay. And I went and hung out at the beach. I'm like, well, I'm just going to go hang out at the beach and decide my direction in life. And I gazed down the beach next to Pier 60 at beautiful Clearwater Beach. And this is in the mid-'90s, and there's some beautiful women
Scenery. Yeah. Fantastic scenery.
over there playing volleyball. I'm like, well, I'm a big athletic guy. I think I can figure this out. So I go wobbling over there, and after a few years, I figured out and loved that game, made a lot of lifelong friends in that, started playing competitively, doing the amateur tours around the Southeast.
These are the days of St. John Smith and is it Kerry Ross and some of the other superstars?
So,
and the ladies
yeah,
side.
Karch Karai. I've actually been on the court. So I actually, Misty May, who was Kerry Walsh's partner.
Kerry Walsh, that's what I was
Yes,
thinking of,
the Golden Girls. Multiple Olympic medals, top to bottom, just set every record in the book. I did not know who she was. I met her at Clearwater Beach.
Okay.
I knew her father and didn't realize I knew her father because he lives down in Sarasota. So she grew up around here. She played indoor collegiately in California. And then I'm hanging out at Clearwater Beach because that's what I do. And I look up and there's a couple of ladies, doing volleyball warm-ups on one of the nets. And one of the girls is just phenomenal player.
Right.
Phenomenal player. And I go walk up, get closer, watch, and I'm like, wow, you're really good. Like, what's your name? Do you need somebody to help you practice your drills and do this?
She thought you wanted an autograph.
She did. No, she literally.
Thought you were a groupie.
She kind of like, after I was like, no, that was really great. Nice to meet you. I'm gonna go hang out with my friend. She's like, what's your name? And she's like, well, maybe you've heard of me. I'm like, what's your name? She goes, Misty May. I'm like, no, but good luck in the future. And I go wobble off, and then she turned professional volleyball right after that, and then I found out who she was at that point. So that was just one of those brushes with I just thought she was some random girl that was good at ball at the beach.
Mid 90s. So that's the Jose Cuervo sponsored volleyball tour. Do they still do that?
No, Jose Cuervo got out of that. The AVP does still tour around, but they do very limited ones on actual natural beaches. A lot of them now are held at man-made beaches at various complexes.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
That
I
whole
mean, they're a blast.
Weather-centric again, yeah.
Yeah, they're a blast, but they're a lot of fun. I mean, you fast forward into the early 2000s, and it was, hey, I think I want to try to pursue maybe a pro spot. So they have the equivalent of Q School for golf, where you play the qualifying tours, you accumulate points, and you can get a low-ranking slot and actually play in the main draw of the tournament is how that works. And I got a few points here and there, but I'll never forget the day that I realized that I needed to find another path again. Like, this is just life showing you, yeah, you're good, but no. So he just retired, but the most recent best player in the world actually hailed from Orlando, Phil Dahlhauser.
I know that name.
Yeah. So he and his partner, Nick Lucena, came up through the amateur tours at the same time I did. So knew them, hung out with them, played against them, partied with them, all of that fun stuff. Great guys, phenomenal guys. And they got their AVP card, and they were warming up before the Fort Lauderdale AVP. And this was, I want to say 2005.
Okay.
So this is 2005. So I am 27 years old at the time.
Just doing the math.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
8. Or no.
I was 28.
Yeah.
28 at the time. Just turned 28 a few months before that. It was spring 2005.
Remember the academic thing.
Yeah, you know, I turned my back on that long ago. Still balance my checkbook, though. But
Jimmy Buffett says math sucks. So
yeah.
It did, yeah. You come back to me.
I come back.
2005, we're warming up in Lauderdale.
So I'm playing the qualifier and don't make it in. Like, made it pretty far in the qualifier, but got eliminated. Not going to make it into the main draw. So I'm hanging out. And over on the court, some of the pros are there, and they're stretching. They're going through their routines, their training routines. They play practice games to get ready for the tournament the next day. And it's Nick and Phil, and they're getting ready to play a practice game against Todd Rogers and Sean Scott. And Sean Scott was still stretching. He wasn't ready. So Nick and Phil are like, Damian, fill in for us. So I am on the court playing with Todd Rogers against Nick and Phil until Sean is ready. And there's what's called a joust ball. So Nick set the ball really tight to the net, directly above the net. So at that point, your blocker and your attacker are going as high as they can, just competing to see who can get the ball first and push it back against their opponent. And I'm, as you noted, fairly big guy. Back in the day, I could jump fairly well, you know. And I go up as high as I can. Todd Rogers is yelling. He's like, get it. And I'm like, I'm getting it. And to put this in comparison, like on an indoor basketball court, the highest I ever got was I hit myself on the rim right about here.
Okay.
So
I couldn't do that with a ladder.
I could get up fairly, and I go up for the ball as high as I can, and I just look up, and there's the ball, and there's Phil's hand about that far above me.
All done.
And I'm just, this isn't going to work out in my favor. And he just gently taps the ball behind me. I'm like,
you're looking over going, hey, you ready to play yet? Or
yeah, so I'm like, I can't do that. Yep. I don't care how much I practice, how much I train.
Baseball.
I will never be able to do that. So I went and found my path in the working world after that. And they went on, and actually shortly after that, Phil switched partners and partnered with Todd Rogers. And they won the gold medal in Beijing.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That's amazing. If you've never played beach volleyball, folks, it is a tough sport. It is gosh, talk about the conditioning. That's why boxers train and super like high endurance athletes.
Everybody trains in the sand because you can do explosive exercises against soft sand resistance without destroying your joints as quickly. There's still damage over time, but it's a great training aid.
Man, if you've ever watched it, especially I don't think TV does volleyball. I don't know how I talk about from baseball fields and all that, but it's very interesting to me. If you've ever watched it on TV, it does not do justice. You ever get a chance to go to one of
have to go in person.
Totally.
Huge beach party.
If you were running the circuit, you remember Coconuts on Cocoa Beach, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember that on a good old Saturday? And it would be all of the, I don't know if they were A players, but for whatever their circuit was, they were there and they were always playing, and it was a holler, a lot of fun.
The circuit always moved around. You know, there's like bongos. There's Undertow down on St. Pete Beach. It was, for a while, it was at Rockaways at North Clearwater.
I remember that too.
There's the Yankee Clipper down in Lauderdale. I mean, you just bounced. South Beach was always some good times down there.
There you go. So now you don't play volleyball at all.
No.
Like, and anybody looks at you, go like, okay, he's on my team if we're playing.
I made the mistake of playing indoor volleyball for a while, which was a ton of fun, but that destroyed my lower body joints.
Say what's going on with your knees there? Wow.
Knees, lower back, ankle.
So hey, let's come back to baseball for just a minute. Let's yes, let's brag about Oldsmar Little League. Tell me what's going on with the league. Anybody that has a youngster, the age groups, some of the myths that we need to bust and that kind of thing.
Yeah. So Oldsmar, back it up a little bit in Oldsmar history. Oldsmar Little League was a monster-sized league and incredibly successful for a really long time. They used to have over 400 players here.
That's incredible.
Because we have a beautiful complex, as you can see around you, one of the larger Little League complexes in the area. And over time, it just, attrition, didn't rebuild, didn't reinvest. I don't know, but our numbers are way down now. So as a board and as a league, we are focusing really hard on regrowing our numbers from the bottom up. So we accommodate everything from T-ball up through 50, 70, which is kind of age 13, 14. And if you're older than that, you can still sign up here and we will get you placed with an age-appropriate team. We just don't have the personnel to
Well, at
assemble
that point,
a
you're
team at
kind of
that
high
level.
school ready or you're not, right?
Right.
So
Correct.
and if you're playing high school ball the way it is today, if you're playing high school ball, you just don't have time to play anywhere else.
It's year-round. Yeah, now they have fall high school ball, too. Like, even that's kind of become year-round. But we're getting very successful. We've got a great core group of younger teams coming up. Just last fall, 2024, one of our girls' softball teams, we have softball as well, they went undefeated.
Incredible.
In spring, our AA boys baseball team won the prestigious Countryside Invitational Tournament.
Our girls just got through a game last night too, didn't they?
They did. So now that group of girls is now AAA, and they ended up losing a tight game in the semifinals in the fall tournament. So they're going to run it back in the spring. But we've just got, and our AAA team, as you already touched on, 11-5, easily could have been several games better than that. One play here or there, and we're advancing in tournaments.
We're not allowed to beat up the umpires in any way because we're coaches, but sometimes we don't agree with the calls. We just have to keep our mouths quiet.
Sometimes we got to zip it and put our heads down and do that other side of teaching our kids good sportsmanship.
Yes.
Because not many of them will statistically go on to play at higher levels beyond this, but they can still learn a lot from
Well, we're doing that while we're mentally kicking the links out of the chain link fence.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
You end up gritting your teeth, and the capillaries in your head are bulging. As
You have
go,
one.
I
I see it.
respectfully
Yeah.
disagree with your call, sir.
This complex, friends, where we are, our background here, this is how long I've lived in Oldsmar. I can remember being Christopher's age, so he's 9 years old, and knocking on doors with a clipboard, getting a petition signed so that we could take this land and convert it into what was called, I think it still might be called that unless we've named it after somebody, but Canal Park.
That is still the official name.
Canal Park. And so at Oldsmar, we boast some of the, I think per capita, I don't know if we still own this moniker, but we had more parks in our tiny little 10-mile square than anywhere else in the nation.
That's
I believe
awesome.
per capita. We're real close if we're not at the top. Anyway, so we did that. I remember knocking on this lady's door. It's the one lady that at Halloween you skip her house.
Yes.
I'm not
Everybody
going up
had
there.
that one in the neighborhood. You're
Well,
like,
I
oh.
knocked on her door and she answers the door and she goes, "Can I help you?" I'm like, "Yes, my name is Chris and I would like to know if you'd like to sign sign this sheet, and because we want to make a park." And she looks at me, Damian, and she says, "I'm not signing that. What's that going to do to my property taxes? Can you answer that?" I said, "I'm 9. I don't know what property taxes
What's
are."
a property tax, ma'am?
Yeah, but apparently we got enough signatures, all right? And here it is, and now it's evolved and developed. Now, we talk about the history of the league just a little bit. I want to believe, I looked everywhere in the archives. My dad, Don Bohr, was the president of the league in like 79.
Okay.
And I just think about how different that is. We've talked about it, but I haven't talked to my audience about that. Things discipline-wise,
Oh, that was Bad News Bears time.
totally was. And it's such a great capture. That film is such a great capture.
Yeah, that was the time
because
period.
our coaches were coming back from Vietnam and from Korea and World War II. There wasn't a yeah. There was a yes, coach, or yes, sir, or it was laps. And typically the way that went was, yes, what?
There's
Really?
no crying in baseball.
There's no crying in baseball whatsoever. They were hard. They were tough on us, but I think it taught us something. I do remember that they all smoked, even in the bleachers they had. They probably sold the cigarettes at the concession stand. But we were down at Olds Park, where the band shell is, which is Celebrate Oldsmar tomorrow, by the way, depending on when this gets put up. We'll be over there. I don't know if you got roped into volunteering to do that.
I did not. So my younger son is playing 2 travel ball tournaments tomorrow, so I will not be in attendance.
Is that season coming to an end now?
It is. It ends probably end of the first week of December. Okay. It runs a little later, but it's up to each organization when they want to cut it off.
Okay.
They just added an extra tournament at the end than they did the year prior, so it's a little later than it has been.
Yeah, and I watched a couple of innings and amazing. Jessica Wright, our friend from Empowered Ventures, she was on the show here. I saw her. Her son plays. Her son's name is Easton, after the bat.
he is a third baseman pitcher type. He plays on Leo's team.
How about that? I was thinking about the Celebrate Oldsmar tomorrow and everything I was talking about, our really cool community, and then the Oldsmar Little League. So if they want to volunteer, because we're always looking for extra hands, always. And if they've never coached before or whatever, we have a place for them, right? We always, if you're willing and able and you can find some room in your schedule, how would they go about doing that?
Go to our website, oldsmarll.com, and there will be a link in there that you can contact me or send in an inquiry for our volunteer opportunities. It can be anything from on the field volunteering to helping us fundraise in our concession stand. Like, we always need help because we're 100% volunteer run.
And the fields are incredible. I mean, we host travel ball tournaments. This is coveted. I mean, our tiny little town, it's such a gem. Right behind us, if you look at it right behind us over our shoulders here, well, maybe over my shoulder, you probably can't see it through him, but anyway, is our BMX track, which is internationally known. Kind of like Rob
It is a beautiful, beautiful complex. Both of my boys do it. They have wonderful instructors over there. If you've never been and are interested in learning about it, or you think your child might like it, but you're like, oh, it might be too scary for them, wonderful instructor. Take them out there, get their feet wet, and they'll end up loving it.
Oh man, we used to dig our own berms in the '70s and stuff like that, and then
cardboard boxes, plywood, and
think about I see this pinky that goes like that. Yeah, that's because I jumped a ramp I wasn't supposed to, broke my hand, and didn't want to tell my mom about it, and for like a week, it was too late at that point.
I made, well, I wouldn't say the mistake. I had the pleasure of showing the movie Rad to both of my boys, and then they went around trying to like dance bicycle stuff. It was pretty amusing.
I love it, and the bikes have gotten so much better. 5 minutes. Yeah, thank you. You talk about the movies, and we talked about the bad.
Richard, get over here.
The Bad News Bears, bring him in.
Oh yeah,
sure.
Let's have a brief say hello to the head of maintenance and groundskeeping here, as we were complimenting the facility. This is Richard Cosgriff here with Oldsmar Parks and Rec.
Welcome in. And we appreciate, we were just bragging about how nice you have the fields and all that good stuff.
We try really hard.
You do a nice job. You do a very nice job.
Thank you very much.
What do you think is the toughest thing about keeping these fields up?
The time frame.
Okay. So you had the budget to do it. We're not going to beat them up by the budget.
We got to play every night, but we need you to completely overhaul the field before tomorrow at 5 p.m. You can do that, right?
How many guys and dolls do you have helping you out here to do that?
Me and 5 guys.
Okay.
But for that, they run the soccer, football. They've got RE Olds Park.
Sheffield.
All of them. So it's not just this wonderful complex.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate it for sure. Thank you so much. Thanks for keeping us in good shape. Baseball movies. What is the best baseball movie for kids, and what's the best baseball movie for adults?
For kids, it's got to be Sandlot.
Okay.
I mean, it's really hard to beat Sandlot. I mean, we just did the drive-in movie out here on the field and went with Rookie of the Year, which is another huge fan favorite. For adults, I mean, for my money, it's Bull Durham.
Bull Durham's got to be
I can't vote for anything over. I mean, I've seen them all. The Natural, For Love of the Game, they're all great movies. Field of Dreams, but Bull Durham.
Bull Durham. And Bull Durham is not a kid's movie. It's not a kid's movie. It's probably not even a 17-year-old movie. It's probably a 21 and up movie, if you ask me, but it was a great, great flick.
And incredibly realistic.
True.
Yeah. Want to talk about minor league baseball. There's minor league baseball.
I had a cool opportunity. So I got my degree in broadcasting and television. I figured I had a great face for radio, and I still do. But we did a fantastic Legends of the League type of exhibition game down in St. Pete, the old Alling Field. That's how long ago that was. And Tom Selleck played, and Costner had just played in the thing as well.
Tom Selleck was a heck of an athlete.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he played a lot of volleyball, too, in Hawaii when he was doing Hawaii 5-0.
There were probably just as many women in the audience when Selleck and Costner were there as there were at the beach volleyball tournaments.
Yes.
I'm telling you, it was amazing. It had guys like Mudcat, whatever, these old ball players, man. And it was, to me, it was kind of another gig, but I realized I was in the middle of something really, really, really cool.
Yeah.
And that's 30-some years ago. That was back when I was working for 910 WFNS, which ultimately those personalities became the personalities that took over 620 WDAE, right? Then TJ Reeves is involved in that. He's the sideline reporter for the Buccaneers. In fact, I tried to get him to come call our game the other night for kicks. But anyway, I go down memory lane here. Folks, I know the threshold of time is about 30 minutes, and that's what we try to do. I do remind you that indeed I am a real estate agent. I am an auctioneer. It's benefit auction season coming up. If you have a benefit, a nonprofit, you need some help with it, give me a call. I'll be more than happy to help you. And even if I'm not the guy or I don't have the date available, I can do one of two things, and that is either find somebody that is suitable to help call and perform for your event, or I can consult with you, and I'll do that free of charge. I just love helping nonprofits, and I love giving back to my community, just like this guy does here. Anything else that you want to add about Oldsmar Little League, the great city of Oldsmar, or anything like that?
You didn't touch on yourself.
Well,
he likes
not
to
today.
he likes to help with nonprofits. He forgot to toss in that he was also one of my assistant coaches for our fabulous season.
I did that. I drew the short straw, I guess.
Come on now.
I love it.
Let's get there.
I truly love it. I absolutely love it. Even popped the quad as a result.
You did.
Sometimes your body tells you stop.
Yeah. Oldsmar Little League spring registration is now open.
And we have tryouts. Oh, that's something else. By the way, we had a player, a great player, who advanced in a big way, who had never played the game before. I won't say his name, just HIPAA laws, whatever. But anyway, we had a player that came on. He was a little bit older, but because of safety rules, we were able to bring that player in, and he developed and he blossomed with us, became part of the team, and so he is either ready for advancing in the league and playing the game some more, or if nothing else, he got safe exposure to it.
He did. He loves the game. It's not all about winning and losing. Even if you're never going to be an all-star performance-wise on the field, you can learn to be an all-star teammate, which transcends sports.
Certainly. And we had a dozen kids playing, so there's friends that are made forever as well. So my point in telling you that and sharing that with you is that if you're thinking, my kid's not real athletic, I can't get him off the tablet, I can't get him away from the video games or whatever, don't be afraid to come out and try. It's a nominal entry, I can tell you that. And if for some reason you're financially strapped, we'll figure out a way. We will figure out a way. We'll get you in there. So come on out and try out. Our tryouts are the second week of January.
Second week of January. Registration is open now. The practices will start probably that third week of January. Games will start mid-February.
I just said the wrong thing. We shouldn't call them tryouts because they're not.
It's evaluations.
Yep.
Yeah, nobody gets cut if you have never played the game or if you are a three-time All-Star. We take you, we put you in an appropriate level, and we work with you to get you better.
We appreciate you for sure. And make sure, ladies and gentlemen, check us out, please, The Wild Bohr Show. Like, subscribe, say hey to Damian, share it with us. I like your comments. If they're positive, if not, keep them to yourself. Throw them somewhere else. I really don't want to hear it, okay? So we've had some fantastic guests. If you are watching this right now over the holiday week, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving and a great Christmas season, holiday season, all that good stuff. Hope to see you on the baseball field with us real soon. Damian, my friend, thank you so much for swinging by, buddy. I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, Wild Bohr, we're out.